much-anticipated summit at the White House. President Obama was set to meet with Republican leaders tomorrow night, but House Speaker-designate John Boehner and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell now saying they can't fit it into their schedules until after Thanksgiving. But is there something else going on here behind the move to cancel that meeting? Richard Socarides, former special assistant to President Clinton, also a Democratic strategist, joins us to talk about it. Great to see you, Richard.
Hi, Shannon.
All right, so what's your guess about what's going on here? I mean, some folks are saying this meeting was never set in stone, but it makes it look like the president, not exactly able to snap his fingers and make everyone come running.
Well, there's a lot going on, right, and kind of none of it is good. I mean, you look at this and you say, we haven't even gotten to the substance yet. We're just talking about scheduling, and we can't even bring them together to agree on a date for the meeting. Remember, this was the meeting they were supposed to come over. They were supposed to stay for dinner. The President Obama says he invited them. But now the Republicans are saying, well, he picked the date. He didn't ask us. He didn't clear it. He didn't suggest, he didn't ask us if we were available that date. And now they're saying that there's too much going on. It's very tricky for both of these both sides of this team here, because there is an opening here for Obama, who can come in and say, well, listen, I tried to bring these guys in. Very quickly, these perceptions are going to form about what this new working relationship, this new people having to work as partners in government is going to feel like. Are people going to be able to move forward for the American people? And very quickly, perceptions are going to sit in. Now, some people say that this is a bad sign for President Obama, that he tried to get people to come in and they wouldn't come in, they wouldn't meet with him. But I actually think there's an opening for him. You saw some of the Democrats this morning saying, well, we're trying to be bipartisan. We're trying to meet with these guys. Won't even show up. But the president made a fatal error in scheduling this and just putting it on people's calendars without asking them. That's very disrespectful. And in Washington, the most important thing is, show respect, especially these new guys coming in. You want to take these guys and sort of grab them at both sides and say, act like grown-ups here.
Let's get to the table. Well, you mentioned the idea of respect, and there was this brouhaha earlier this year in January when the president showed up in Baltimore where House Republicans were meeting. A lot of folks said they didn't know he was coming, and that instead of having a conversation, many of them felt like he was lecturing them. And there's sort of
felt kind of like he was lecturing,
like a professor, like he was
that?
giving and they feel sort of this distrust about what he's really going to do if they get together. I mean, how big of a problem is that? And breaking down that barrier, this distrust issue.
Well, it's a big problem, and it's the reason why the Republicans backed out. I mean, normally the president invites you never say no. But they were so, I think, worried that they would come off and not have all their ducks in a row, right? That they would look, that they'd be upstaged. That they would rather risk the backlash of canceling than showing up and looking bad. But there's a big risk here. I mean, Obama has to make these guys comfortable with him, because this is two sides. And if Boehner says, I can sit down and I meet with Obama, but I'm not comfortable, we're not making a connection. Politics are about these connections.
Quick bit of breaking news. We are just hearing that Democrats have decided in their leadership meeting to go ahead and re-elect Nancy Pelosi. She won't be Speaker now, but she will lead the minority when they take over in January. What's your reaction?
Well, it's not a shock. She's a great vote counter. She's better at that than anybody, so it's not a surprise. I'm sure she won big, but it's like the Democrats now have this problem that she's going to continue to be the face of the Democrats.
Yeah,
in
net
the House,
plus or minus going into 2012.
It's a big problem. They will have to do something differently in order to be successful. She will have to do something differently, but I'll bet that she knows that.
Do you think she's gotten the message? Because there are skeptics out there who say she continues to say the election wasn't about her, but for some voters it was.
Well, I'm not sure that she's gotten the message, but I'll bet she has a plan. They know that they have to do something differently, and the environment around them has changed dramatically. We'll see. The story is unfolding. People are absorbing this. It's going to be a very interesting time between now and Christmas, when they finally adjourn after the lame duck.
Do you think that her demeanor or her public speeches or demeanor will change at all moving forward, knowing that November 2nd was a tough day for them?
I personally wish she would show a little more warmth. I mean, when I see her, I see someone who's strong and powerful, but she seems a little brittle to me sometimes. I wish that she'd show her warm side. I know that she has a warm side. We
see her with the grandkids. And
yeah, I mean. And I'm sure she's getting some very good communications advice, but she needs to warm up. My advice to her would be chill out a little bit.
Okay, let me get back to the White House meeting. I wanted to ask you about the issue of, trying to get bipartisanship together, trying to get everybody to the White House. But it looks like even within the Democratic Party, there are some fissures on a few of these key issues that they want to tackle, talk about at the White House, and try to get through lame duck. The Bush tax cuts, we've heard sort of mixed messages. We thought the president was hinting that maybe at least temporarily they'd go for all of the tax cuts being extended. David Axelrod sounding like he might be taking a different tack. We hear today that Senator Max Baucus, who heads up the Finance Committee, a very prominent Democrat, may be considering something that would allow everything to be extended for even top earners, maybe temporarily. Do you think they have to sort of settle that issue internally before they can really come to the table with the GOP at the White House?
I think the entire situation is very fluid. I think that even within the caucuses, they don't know exactly what to do, where to put the emphasis, how to go forward, what kind of compromises they should make. I think even among the Democrats and even within the Republicans that there is a lot of uncertainty. I think they're still really absorbing this election. And I think we don't really know where this is going to end up. I mean, there's so much on the table in the lame duck. A lot of the Democrats want to get Don't Ask, Don't Tell repeal through. We have the START treaty.
Dream Act.
There's enough for an entire year that they're trying now to cram into 2 or 3 weeks. I think progress on these issues for the American people should be paramount. It's got to be about jobs, got to be about the economy, but they don't know yet, either side, which direction to go in.
We'll see if there's any compromise there. Richard Socarides, great to see you.
Good to see you.